This is parent courtroom. Okay, the parent courtroom. Parent courtroom. I mean, parent.
What am I doing with you two? So this is a detention docket for the 323rd District Court on Friday, October 30th, 2020, otherwise known as Stephanie Hester Day. And so we are here on Zoom in compliance with the Texas Supreme Court Emergency Order number 25 related to the coronavirus. And so we are not conducting these proceedings in person, but remotely as it is possible. However, to comply with the Texas Open Courts Act, we are broadcasting these proceedings on YouTube. No one may copy, record, publish any portion of this recording or court proceeding. Violations are punishable by contempt of up to 6 months in Tarrant County Jail and a $500 fine. And then, let's see, let's verify. If you are here simply to observe because you're a victim, I'm going to go ahead and ask you to leave the Zoom session and go to YouTube to observe. Otherwise, if you are a participant, then I do expect your camera to be on. Ms. Latrina Horton. Ms. Horton, please turn your camera on. Okay, so I've removed her. All right, so we'll go ahead and start with Roderick Jones. Mr. Jones, I'm Judge Kim. It's been 10 days since I've seen you last. I want to see how you're doing, check up on you, make a decision to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, you see a judge every 10 days. You do have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. So, Mr. Jones, you're 15 years old. This is, let's see, brought in by Arlington PD on a warrant for the, let's see, Police were dispatched to a family's home about a shooting. When police got there, met with the victims. Victim opened the door, said he woke to a loud noise. Heard Lucas's mother voice pleading with him not to shoot her with the sound of gunfire. When he left, Lucas pointed a revolver at him. Lucas pulled the trigger the second time, but the weapon was out of ammunition. And okay, so there's a friend spending. Oh, that's right. This is one spending the night. They were to hit a lick. They were supposed to rob the mom's boyfriend. And let's see. According to witness, Roderick and Lucas woke up early. And Roderick used a 9mm handgun to kill Chris. And then Roderick left. So went back to Roderick's house, gave the handguns to Roderick's brother. And then Roderick was released to his mom after he was seen by a magistrate and chose not to speak. Later on, there's a search warrant, which found the guns and surveillance video and audio. And a male resembling Roderick can be heard stating, "Shit, give me the guns," right before the companion gave the weapon. All right, so we have a setting on December 12th for announcement. Mr. Adniji, is he here?
I don't see him present, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Adler is going to substitute in that. All right, Mr. Jones, the nature of this offense, I guess the parent's not here either. All right, the nature of the offense was it's a child involving guns, first of all, and then also it resulted in the death of an individual. Part of why I have such a big problem with children having guns. I feel like if I release you, you'd be a danger to the community. I'm also concerned that you would abscond. So I'm going to go ahead and detain you. There is a court setting. There's a chance there's going to be a jury trial. Your trial would be scheduled for February, just so you understand kind of the time frame of what's going on. I do appreciate your level 1 outstanding. That is certainly evidence that your attorney can use in your favor at your trial. All right, thank you, Mr. Jones. We have Marion King.
Judge, be advised that youth has refused to participate today.
Can't refuse. So go ahead and make arrangements for you brought in. If you can't be brought into Zoom, let's go ahead and bring him to the courtroom. I'm going to put this paper to the side, but thank you for letting me know. We'll wait for him.
Judge, we would waive. I mean, it's a capital murder case. It's this is King, right?
Yes, this is King.
This is a capital murder case. He's not going to be released. So we'll waive.
Is he level 1-0?
Yes, sir. I believe
Yes,
so.
he is. Okay. So, Mr. Gladstone, you're waiving the hearing?
Yes, I am, Judge.
All right. Absolutely. I'll allow the waiver. There'll be paperwork. If you could, are you in the building? You're at home, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Okay. We'll go ahead and send you a copy just so you can e-sign it and send it back to us.
Sounds good. Have a good weekend, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gladstone. You too.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I was here for Ronnie Mitchell, so may I be dismissed?
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Mr.
Good morning,
Reyes.
brother. Actually, I got one more. Sorry, I gotta stay.
Oh, Mr. Reyes, can you do me a favor? I don't know if that security control officer heard that he's waiving, but can you call down to the detention center and let him know we do not need Mr. King?
Absolutely, yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
heard you, sir. I got that.
Oh, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Parish Marchbanks.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning, Ms. Taylor. So wait, is the mom here?
She is. She's in the parent courtroom.
Okay, Mr. Marchbanks, this is a detention. I just saw you yesterday,
Yes, that's correct.
and there is, actually, this is for me to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, you see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent, and you have the right to an attorney. And Ms. Taylor, you have requested this detention hearing. For what purpose?
Your Honor, I'm holding the respondent's work schedule. He works at Whataburger. This is his first time in the detention facility. He's scheduled to be at work tonight at 5 p.m. to work till 11 p.m. Tomorrow, he's scheduled 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. and then 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. So basically 7 to 4. Sunday, he's scheduled 10 to 4. And it would cause great problems. I understand the court's position and I understand the court policies, and this court is extremely consistent. And you asked him the question, he gave you an honest answer. you said you would release him in 3 days. I very much respect the court's position, and
If he was level 1-0.
he just came in. I
I'm
just
saying it would be 3 days if he was level 1-0 in 3 days.
right.
Okay.
And I'm asking you to change your mind, and I've got several good reasons. Number one is this work schedule? Number two is I'm holding a letter from Keller Independent School District at Central High School where this alleged offense occurred, for which he's being held. And I've provided a copy of this letter to Janet Farmer, the DA. I just received it this morning. Ms. Farmer just received it this morning, and I know she's been very busy because I've had 2 cases with her already today. So I don't know that she's had an opportunity to read it, but it basically says the offense did not occur. And it is signed by the principal, Liz Russo, by the principal of Central High School. Mother, I know, has a lot to say to you. She's going to be happy to answer any questions you have. Level of supervision in the home is phenomenal. This child has not been in trouble before. We're very much respectfully urging you to release him so he can get to work this weekend.
All right. So Parrish, got a question for you, okay? Ms. Taylor, you don't mind if I ask a couple kind of non-incriminatory questions, right?
Of course not, Judge.
Okay. All right, so Parrish, a couple questions for you. Do you understand, so the situation you're in now, and I wasn't there, I don't know any facts, I haven't talked to any witnesses, okay? But given the situation, do you understand how there are times in life that a person can put themselves into a situation where even if they did nothing wrong, it could look so bad that they get caught up and catch a case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so knowing that, and then I hope you appreciate the fact that you're a young Black male, right? Statistically, that opportunity is greater for you to be caught up in a situation that you did nothing wrong, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and we can't change the fact that a lot of times people get caught up in bad situations, even if they did nothing wrong. We can't change the fact that your color of your skin is the color of your skin, right?
Yes, sir.
So knowing this, I hope this is an opportunity for you to understand that sometimes you just have to remove yourself from a situation, not because you have to, but just because it's just better to. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
All right, so going forward, I don't want you to lose your job over this. You have no history of this department. I'm flexible and willing to change my mind and go ahead and let you go, all right? This doesn't mean that we can't refer you if further evidence comes in, but otherwise, based on your behavior yesterday, as respectful and responsible as you seemed yesterday, your mom's demeanor, and I can obviously tell that she is very concerned and is actually a very good parent and providing adequate care and supervision for you. I don't mind letting you go. So I'm glad, Ms. Taylor, that you brought this back to the court's attention. I certainly can adjust things, but Parrish, hopefully this is a really good learning moment for you. Fair enough?
Sir.
All right, go. Don't lose your job.
Thank you, Ms.
very
Taylor.
much, Judge.
Nathaniel Pena. Maybe all the people on YouTube guessed it. All right, Mr. Pena, there you are. All right, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days, so I'm going to review your case, decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, the law says you get to see a judge every 10 days. You do have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. All right, so Nathaniel, you just turned 17. And let's see, we released you on electronic monitor back in September. Let's see, you had a July aggravated robbery case. We released you on electronic monitor in September. You were released on September 8th on the electronic monitor when you got picked up for a warrant on the aggravated robbery case from his home. All right, Ms. Blair, I'm losing, like, why?
Your Honor, he was on the electronic monitor, and then they had sent this warrant out. They issued this warrant on September 28th, and they picked him up from his house on October 1st.
Why was he on electronic monitor for the August 7th terroristic threat charges?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so in July, there was a robbery call at a business. They said Hispanic male, red hoodie, black pants, black ski mask, black shoes, and blue rubber gloves with a black handgun entered the business, pointed the gun, demanded money, complied, and that person took $1,000 in various bills. They left the store and got into a white vehicle and left. In August, Haltom City contacted Fort Worth, said they identified the suspect. And in August, Richland Hills was dispatched to a suspect with a gun call. They found Nathaniel with 5 other people living in the home. When they got there, they got officers consent to search the house, found the gun, found a black backpack containing narcotics, clothing, and a handgun. Sent the photo to Fort Worth PD, and it matched the clothing and handgun used in robbery. So there's a search warrant on the phone, and they reviewed the data, found an old message from Nathaniel that said, all them licks and stoves I hit, all them people I scared. So. All right. Okay, so there's a warrant issued. October, found Nathaniel at a motel where he and his mom lived. So, Mr. Pena, just based on the seriousness of the offense, I have a problem with kids with guns. You know how I stand on that. Is a parent here?
She's on Zoom, Your Honor.
She is on Zoom?
Mm-hmm. Monica Pena.
Yes, I'm right here.
Okay, there we go, Monica. All right, thank you. Yeah, Mom, I just have a very hard line with children and guns. Just a lot of people are dying unnecessarily at the hands of children or getting severely injured. So I'm very hesitant to release children that used weapons in the commission of an offense. All right, that doesn't mean I never do. It just means it's a very slow process for me.
Right, I understand.
Okay, so I'm not saying Nathaniel did it. I'm saying just based on the information that I have. Nathaniel, I do see that you're level 1 outstanding, which I'm very pleased to see, and you have been actually for 22 days, and that's outstanding. I'm impressed because that's not easy, because that means you're not even dropping down to 2 acceptable, right? Okay, you actually made me pause and think a little bit harder about this one. It's a slow process, Nathaniel, okay? I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm just saying just bear with me because of the type of offense. Now, that being said, you are 17 years old, right? And you understand that you're earning your keep here by being level 1 outstanding. Otherwise, I would send you down to county lockup because you are 17. So I'm glad to see your level 1-0. Please keep it up. Part of it, and one side it helps you because you get to stay here. Another side it helps you because each time it makes it harder and harder for me to keep you here. Okay, until one day you keep it up, one day I will release you. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, Mr. Pena.
Yes, sir.
All right, Jalen Rice.
Your Honor, we're having a little bit of difficulty with Mr. Rice. He's not wanting to exit his room, and
He doesn't have a choice.
I've got the laptop in here with us.
Yeah, law says we have to see him within 2 days. And I'm not, you may
I
be
have
working tomorrow, but I'm not.
I have the laptop in the room with him, sir.
Okay? If you can turn the video on.
Roll over.
Yeah, you need to sit up. So why is he not even dressed? All right, turn the camera off. We'll do this one later on. Mr. Rice, if you're trying to impress me, this is not the way to impress me. Stephanie, let's go ahead and set him. Like, is he on supervision right now?
Your Honor, I think we're set for a certification hearing at some point. He didn't show up last time for our hearing or our, I guess it wasn't our hearing, but our, I guess, pre-trial or whatever you want to call it, status conference.
Right.
That was on October 6th.
Your Honor, he's got a shirt on now.
Okay, first of all, he's 17 years old, so we're gonna go ahead and send him downtown. If he's gonna act like a fool, he's gonna act like a fool in downtown lockup. All right, second, Mr. Willett, whenever you do the certification, do the certification. Mr. Rice, you can leave the camera off. So, Mr. Rice, this is your detention hearing. Whenever your kid comes in, you have to see a judge within 2 days. And I get to decide whether to keep you here or release you. I'm keeping you in detention. I'm not letting you out until your hearing's over. And you're gonna stay in downtown lockup until your hearing is done, all right? You do have a right to attorney. Mr. Willis, your attorney here. You have a right to say nothing. You have the right to remain silent, and I advise you to say nothing. Nothing at this point can help you. All right, thank you, Mr. Rice. Sorry? Oh, good. Mr. Willett, I think 11:23 is.
I don't know, I wasn't watching.
Yeah, okay. Your Honor, I don't think we had a date yet because he wasn't there on the 6th, and I just knew he got picked up just now. So that's fine. The date's fine.
Oh, Mary just said it right now, so that's why you.
Okay. I was gonna say, I don't know any dates yet, but okay. All
How
right.
official we are. Thank you, Mr.
All right.
Willett.
Thanks.
All right, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and turn the docket over to Judge Porter, who's going to handle the remaining of the hearings. Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend. This is the last detention docket for last Friday of October, which is why all the judges have been wearing pink robes at detention hearings for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So, anyways, y'all have a good weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, me too.
Thank you, Judge Kim. All right, Jadon Edward Brown.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Are you Mr. Brown?
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Reyes. All right, Mr. Brown, the law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney, and your attorney, Mr. Hall, is here. The court previously found a probable cause exists to believe that you engaged in delinquent conduct. Mr. Brown, what is your level in the back?
It's a 3C, but
It's level 3 confined. What is your level supposed to be?
it's supposed to be a 1-0.
And it is not, is correct?
Yes, sir. Can I?
All right, then on that basis, I find that you are going to be a danger to yourself or others if released. If you can't behave in the back, you can't behave in the free world. So you're going to be detained. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be dismissed?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Reyes. Good to see
You have a
you.
nice weekend. Thank you, sir.
Quintis Dante Collier.
Thanks, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. Are you Mr. Collier?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Collier, my name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney. And Mr. Adeniji is not here, correct?
No, sir.
All right,
I don't see him.
All right, Mr. Adler, do you mind filling in?
Not at all, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right. The court has previously found that probable cause exists to believe that you engaged in delinquent conduct, more specifically the offenses of evading arrest, violation of court order because you're previously placed on probation, and potentially a new robbery. All right, Mr. Collier, what is your level in the back?
3-0.
What is it supposed to be?
1-0, sir.
All right. If you can't behave in the back, then I cannot believe that you will behave at home. And so on that basis, I'm going to order that you be detained as a danger to yourself or others. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Kevin Raul Garcia. Are you Mr. Garcia?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Garcia, my name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney, and your attorney, Mr. Adler, is here. The court previously found that probable cause exists to believe that you engaged in delinquent conduct. Okay, Mr. Dotson, He's level 1A in the back. What is this? I read about a report of him defacing county property.
Yes, Your Honor. Also, on the 25th, he lost his level because he had peer conflicts with 3 different young men in the back. He got a major for interaction, negative language. The defacing county property, I asked, and they haven't given me any details if he was writing on the wall. I don't have the exact detail of that, but that's usually what it is in detention when they put defacing property is he's wrote on some on the wall or peeled paint or something like that.
All right. Mr. Garcia, you're 15, right?
Sir.
15 and a half, actually. You know, when you get to be about 15, the judges expect you to be a little bit more mature in the back and to like be somebody that the younger kids back in detention will look up to. Defacing county property is not part of that, right? Okay. Mr. Adler, what are your thoughts?
Judge Porter, without really trying to violate any HIPAA issues, but this young man has mental health issues and has had them since age 9, and I'm not blaming that on his behavior in the back. I just want to make sure that he's getting the treatment that he should be getting while he's in detention. Had a long talk with his mom, and we really just want to make sure that at least the mental health part is getting taken care of.
Mr. Dodson, do you know anything about that?
He's, I'm going to get the exact dates. He should be, Dr. D was supposed to see him Wednesday. Let me see.
Yesterday, I mean, this past Wednesday or next Wednesday?
According to the nurse, he restarted his medicine in the back. They saw him last Wednesday.
Okay.
So, so I don't know if that coincides with his behavior, if he is taking his medicine. But for the last couple of days, he has not, at the last 5 days, he only has 1 day where he has outstanding behavior. He's been having issues with other peers.
And the reason he's back in detention this time is because we received a master tamper alert on his electronic monitor. He was told to come in to have it reattached, and then thereafter he kind of just walked away from the house. Is that correct?
Yes, when they told mom that they're going to be contacting her to make, because when he said it was off to bring the next day, when they called at 1:30 in the morning, he wasn't at home. He says he's on the roof. And when he came in the next day, they did look at the monitor and determined that it was tampered, that it just didn't fall off. That's the second time tampering at the monitor also.
Okay. Mr. Adler, do you have any additional thoughts?
No, Your Honor, working with the moms so we can maybe have some type of plan for him to get all the wraparound services that maybe juvenile probation can offer him.
All right.
And to his credit, Your Honor, he did come back with a negative UA, so he has not been using drugs. He and mom have been making strides. Like I said, he's 15, so he's up and down, but she has been very faithful in trying to get all the services that she can for heaven. He has gotten better on the outside as far as going to treatments and trying to get stuff done. He just had the problem with the monitor, but he did not use any drugs this last time he was out. I just want to make sure he gets credit for that.
How are we doing, Mr. Adler, on getting services scheduled up and everything? Is that
not as quickly as I would like, but we're trying to get it done where, Judge, we just need to make sure he has the proper supervision at home. Not to say that mom is not trying. We all want him to succeed. So we're trying to line everything up at the same time.
all right? Then I'm going to give us a little bit longer time to get those dominoes in a row. Mr. Garcia, I'm going to order that you be detained today. I need you to get back to level 10 for me, right? Okay. Hold on. Look at me just for a second. Look at me just for a second. This is not all bad, okay? Because except for the minor blip yesterday, you've been doing really good, okay? I want you to see this as there's hope for you, and we're just trying to get everything lined up for you for when you do go home. And I think that's going to happen pretty quickly. Mr. Adler's really good at working his magic and making things happen. Mr. Adler, I've tried to see if we have a court setting for this, and I'm not showing that we do. If you'll double check me on that, and if we don't have a setting, if we might go ahead, and that way, sometimes people work better with deadlines.
Yes, sir.
And so that we can give Mr. Garcia a goal to look forward to.
I will be there in person first thing Monday morning on another case, Judge, and I'll set it with your court coordinator.
Sounds wonderful. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. That's going to be the order of the court.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Faith Nicole Henley. Ms. Taylor, does she have a parent or guardian here today?
They were here for the 9:30 hearing. I believe they're still in the building.
All right.
I'm not seeing her probation officer either. I'm wondering if they don't know that we had a detention hearing after our adjudication dispo this morning.
Let's see.
Karina,
We're waiting.
She's here. I'll get her on in just a second. Hey, Ms. Taylor, was the case disposed of this morning?
It was.
Okay.
Well, not officially yet.
Okay.
Okay. Do you
It's
still
not
want-
officially disposed of yet.
That's correct.
She's been released. Hopefully the court's okay with that.
Oh, she has been released.
Okay, that explains why parents aren't here.
Karina is telling me the DA dismissed the case for DPP?
No.
Or just dismissed? I'm understanding it's a straight dismissal, Judge.
Has Judge Kim or Judge Terry signed the dismissal?
Probably not. But yeah, we've released, Judge.
All right, then we're going to move on.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Taylor.
Thank you. Ms. Farmer, thank you for your help this morning.
Have a good Friday.
You too.
All right, Corbin Pittman.
Yes, Your Honor.
How are you, Mr. Basic?
I'm good. Yourself?
Better than I deserve.
It's Friday.
Yeehaw. All right. Are you Mr. Pittman?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Pittman, my name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney. And Mr. Masick is your attorney and here to represent you. Mr. Nava, what brings Mr. Pittman back to court today?
Yes, sir. Mr. Pittman was referred in custody on the 15th of this month by Azle PD on charge of assault BI. That is the victim in this case. The report indicates that Corbin fled the house after he assaulted both his mom and father. When officers arrived, spoke with the parents. They indicated that they confronted Corbin about taking money out of his dad's wallet. Corbin did admit to doing so, but would not return it. That's when a verbal altercation turned physical, and mom slapped him, and then he punched and kicked his father in the face several times. I'm sorry, Corbin slapped his mother. And then Corbin ran from the home, but police apprehended him. He was charged with 2 counts of family violence, assault BI. And then on the 3rd, he was pending a case for assault BI and injury. A 3rd of March, when this occurred. We received this out of custody report on the 3rd of March. An offense occurred on the 13th of February of this year at school. SRO notified that altercation took place in the cafeteria. He saw the staff escorting Corbin outside the cafeteria and the victim to the office. They were placed in different offices. The officer went into the principal's office and watched a video where Corbin walked towards the victim as he was trying to leave the cafeteria. He walked up to him, pushed him onto a table, and began to hit him several times with a closed fist. The victim reported that Corbin began to bully him after he told the teacher that he saw Corbin smoking a vapor cigarette in the bathroom. Corbin at one point threatened to get the victim, and then victim's mother also notified the police that her son has Asperger's syndrome, and she wanted to pursue charges. And then he did provide a drug test after several days of being detained on the 20th, which was positive for THC. He also did do a hair follicle test, but those results haven't come back yet.
Mom and Dad, did it surprise you that the drug test came back positive for marijuana?
No.
How long do you think he's been using illegal drugs?
Probably at least 3 or 4 months that I know of.
Jorge, Mr. Pittman is level 1-0 in the back, correct? And has been for the last 6.5, 7 days?
Yes, sir.
Mom and Dad, what are your thoughts? Do you think your son should come home today?
You know, he's apologized, and I've let him know that apology means nothing. His actions are going to really let me know, and I'll be the first one to call his probation officer or the police or whoever I need to call if he does not act how he's supposed to act.
Before he came in this last time, was he doing online school?
Yes.
Was he doing all of his work like he was supposed to?
No.
Okay. And was it just one class? Was it all classes, or?
It was all classes.
So, do you want him to come home today?
I do. If he's going to go back to the Corbin, I know he can be. And I'll be able to tell immediately if that's going to happen.
Dad, what are your thoughts?
I just want what's best for him and wanting to act like a normal 14-year-old.
Okay. Corbin, you have been level 1-0 the last 6.5 days. I'm going to authorize your release. However, I'm going to release you on the electronic monitor, which means you're essentially locked up at your house. You can't go anywhere else. That's the first condition. If you violate that electronic monitor, if you tamper with it, you knock it off, you're coming back to detention. Second requirement is you must complete all of your schoolwork on time. Okay? If you fail to complete one project when it is due, if you fail to attend a single online class like you're supposed to, guess what? You're coming back to detention where I can make sure that you're going to school and doing all your work like you're supposed to.
Yes, sir.
All right? No excuses, no exceptions.
Yes, sir.
All right? You need to act like a 14-year-old. 14-year-olds don't go around smoking dope. 14-year-olds don't go around slapping their mom. 14-year-olds don't go around using drugs and skipping classes and acting a fool. You have one job in life right now, and that's to be a kid. And kids are supposed to learn and listen to their parents. All right?
Right.
If you will do just that one thing, you and I will never have to see each other again, okay?
Right.
All right. Thank you, Mom and Dad. I'm going to authorize his release today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, please don't bring in the next child. The law says when a child is under the age of 14, that there's the presumption that the child's interest in privacy outweighs the public's right to participate and watch the hearing of the child who may be under 14, unless there's been a showing that the public's interest in participating or watching in the hearing outweighs the privacy interests of the child. No such showing has been made pursuant to 5408 of the Texas Family Code. Accordingly, the court will close the remainder of the hearings or hearing to the general public and stop the live stream.